Art journal. This is where I'm going to document some of my art and some of the progress I've made. So I guess today I'd start with self. So the reason I did this is because I noticed that a lot of my figures I was drawing were just off, and actually a big fault they had was that they were very thin, which is something that I did take into account in improving it. But in also doing this, I found that I had a lot of other mistakes, or just making mistakes in general. So I guess the first one I would start off with is this one. And the critique that I give myself is that way too slanted. And that's just true because this is my original one of what I drew. And here is what the tracing would have looked like if I better proportionate it out, being that you can kind of see my characters here. They're kind of standing more straight. While here, it's kind of look like he's falling or he's being pushed back. A little bit just trying to like lean, but he's not necessarily trying to go for it all the time, but still just kind of shows you. Another one kind of showing my proportion just kind of way off. This one being me. This one being the the one if I do a little bit of a tracing a little bit better. So just like making things way too unproportionate here, and this kind of just be something I want to kind of improve on. Being making my shapes a little bit more accurate. This one being another example, but actually being a little bit better. Being this is what I drew, which is kind of just a little bit off, but everything's still not too bad. If I trace it properly, it would kind of look more like that, so kind of just more straight, which is not necessarily a bad thing when you're just drawing. And this one's kind of another example of me pushing a little bit too far, that a little bit just a way too thick when you compare to stuff, and also missing that perspective. Being my center line would be kind of here, while it's kind of just missing that overall just that thinness of that thing, which is rushing to practice a little bit. And here it'd be a thinner one. And here would be a thinner one. And here would be a thinner one. And this one being the last one was actually my best one. Being that I didn't have any I mean there was improvements obviously, but overall better shape. And overall better, and maybe if I just made it a bit longer and maybe a little bit of a better fit, but overall wasn't too bad. Being when you compare what I drew to the reference, it's not too bad. And that's going to be in the journal of today.